Hi, everybody. I'm Coach Cook. I am going to be going through the information that we had at the parent meeting for athletics. If there are any questions that you have, I will share my contact information as well so that you can reach out to me after I go through the information with anything that you didn't understand, that I missed, or that you just want clarification on. All right, let's get started. So this year for our 2024-2025 school year, we are going to be emphasizing a few different things. And I really just want to go over what exactly this season is hopefully going to look like, some new things that we're establishing, some old things that we're just reminding everybody about, and then kind of launching and kicking off our new season. Our vision for our Renaissance athletics is to create a culture of greatness. That applies to not only the student as an athlete, but also the student as far as their academics go in school. So we want to encourage them to pursue the highest level of greatness and excellence in everything that they do. That includes in character development, that includes in making choices with integrity, understanding right from wrong, being a leader and an exemplary role model for all of our other athletes, whether they be peers, same level, or younger athletes up and coming. We also want to create a culture of greatness where we are laying the foundation for what's to come and what athletics can open up for students as they go on into high school and into any higher levels of education that they choose to pursue. High school is really when scouting becomes important, getting those relationships built that will give you letters of recommendation to move on, and making connections that are going to get you to those next steps of competition if that's what your goals are. And even if those aren't your students' goals, I still think that it's important to lay those foundations, because no matter what they decide to pursue in their future, if they know what it takes to be a competitor, to be a an exemplary role model, to be a leader, those types of character traits are going to translate to a bunch of different types of settings, and aid them in any future endeavors that they try to accomplish. All right, this is an overview of the sports that we offer here at Renaissance. Cross country is a year-round sport that lasts all through the year. Cheer will start in quarter 1, but the main times where cheer is actually going to games is during the basketball and football seasons. Quarter 1 and 2, we have volleyball and soccer. 2 and 3, basketball, and 3 and 4, track and field and flag football. Because of St. Lucie County School District's rules regarding competition, 6th through 8th graders are welcome to participate in county and district games. 5th graders are not recognized by the district as middle schoolers. So they have made that policy where you have to be in 6th grade minimum in order to compete in the district games and tournaments. We still want to offer opportunities for our 5th grade athletes and really create a foundation for even younger athletes to start understanding what competition is, to kind of lay the groundwork of those skills that they're going to need to develop as they grow into the athletes that they are becoming. So really, we're going to run, hopefully, some K-5 enrichments. The 4th and 5th graders, my vision is to see them have more of a competitive option. So if we had enough for a sport, let's say basketball, we could run some intramurals. We could have a red team, a blue team, and then just kind of run games in a competitive way where they have referees, they're getting used to play calling, they're getting used to the whistle blowing and having those experiences, even though they may not be participating in the district competitions. If we have a very highly skilled 5th grader, we may include them on the team. They can practice with the team. They can go to games with the team. They just want to be able to play in the games but their fee would definitely be reduced if that were the case, and that would be a case by case basis. I know a lot of the coaches want to start conditioning before their season starts, so you can be on the lookout for some information once they have solidified when they want that to start and how long it'll go for and what their fees will be. So we have a variety of returning and brand new coaches this year. Myself, I will be coaching the volleyball team, the girls basketball team, and the girls flag football team. Coach Bree Merrill will be coaching cheer, as she did the last couple of years. Coaches Rollins and Sagi will be coaching our cross country. Soccer, Coach Rollins will be back joining us for soccer, and Mr. Campbell will be joining him, Coach Campbell, for this season as well. Flag football, Mr. Cook will be joining for the boys' side, and for basketball, Coach Cook, Mr. Cook, and myself, as I said, for the girls, we will all be helping out with the basketball program. And then Coach Matos is going to be coaching track and field again this year. So I'm really excited to have such a great group of coaches and a lot of returning staff. So they know how it works. They're going to know how to communicate and how to just run the program in an efficient way where they are investing in your student athlete to grow them into that next level of player. Speaking of communication, we will have several forms of communication that we will be utilizing this year. I would say probably the predominant form will be the Team Reach app. A lot of the coaches used that last year. It's a very easy platform to use. And you will just have to download the app, and then you would be invited to the group, and then all communication for the team would go through that one source. But we still could potentially be using the school email to send out emails to you. We could be texting from our Ring Central school phone numbers. Ms. Kerrigan is really great about updating her newsletter in some more. So that's going to be another method that you may get some of that information. And then this year, the school is rolling out talking points as a way that teachers can be communicating with you as well. That comes in as a text message to your phone, and it very clearly identifies who is messaging you so that you know exactly, who this person is and what it's related to. So those are just some ways that we may be communicating with you this year. Transportation is tricky sometimes because we don't offer busing to all of our games. And the primary reason for that is we do not have buses that are available early enough for us to utilize them to get to away games. So it is part of the understanding when you enroll your student in athletics that you will be responsible for transporting them to off-campus games and for picking them up from practices on campus as well. So lane 4 is going to be where we're going to try to put a lot of our traffic coming in for pickup. I ask that you don't come too early. We have other activities, other groups dismissing. And so if you come early, that just kind of blocks up the flow of everyone else's traffic. If you can get there just maybe 5 to 10 minutes before 5, anywhere from 5 to 5:15 is that window of time where you would not be considered late at that point in time. This year, everybody is doing one method of late fee, and that is if you are late for pickup, it's a $30 flat fee. And if it goes past 6 p.m., then they add, I believe it's $5 for every minute, but I could be wrong about that. It is in the handbook though, and we are adhering to that same policy across the board, including in sports. Please just remember that the coaches and the staff that work with your students, they are doing that on their own time. Coaches don't get paid per hour. They get paid a flat rate. And so if they have to stay an hour after, that's taking time away from their personal lives. They have families, they have responsibilities at the home. They work full time as teachers at our school, most of them. And so it's really just a respectful way to thank the coaches for giving that time that they've already given by not requiring them to give extra time because of late pickups. And then just so everyone is clear, no coach or staff member may transport a student athlete to any off-campus activity, whether it's a game, a practice, nothing. If the family member or if the staff member is part of your family and they are in power school as someone who can pick up and drop off your student, that's a different situation. But on the whole, staff are not able to transport students. It's a liability thing, it's a safety thing for all parties, and we just can't do that. But what you can do is fill out a carpool form. If your student is selected to be on the team, they will get a packet going home with all the paperwork that you're going to need to make sure is on file with us. And one of those would be a carpool form. So other parents on the team, if you feel comfortable with them transporting your child from a game or from practice, then you're welcome to put them on that form, and we will keep that on file at the school. All they would have to do is present ID. The child lets us know, yes, this is the person I'm allowed to go with on this form, and then they're good to go. All right, cost of athletics is something that we always try to keep reasonable. But the reality is that it takes money to run a program, and the better we want our program to be, the more funds that we need to support it. So, we want to keep that fee right around 100. If I can bring it down for some, I will try to do that. The thing about the sports is some sports are more expensive than others. For example, cheer runs year round. So there may be, it's a longer time commitment for the coach. It requires a bit more equipment, things like that. The cross country cost, they have to pay per meet. There is an entry fee for every 5K that they do. So that cost may be a little bit higher than, say, basketball or volleyball. I know volleyball, we have jerseys from previous years that we will be able to use. So that can bring the cost down a little bit, because a lot of where our cost goes is to getting new uniforms every year. I know when I was a kid, you saw the pile of uniforms, you grabbed what you could, and if you didn't get the number you wanted or you didn't get the perfect size, it was kind of like an oh well kind of thing. And then you turned those in either every game and the coaches washed them and then redistributed them for games, or you turn them in at the end of the season. Either way, those were reused year to year. For some reason, that hasn't been happening with our school. And because of that, that is a big reason why the cost of athletics is so high every year, because we have to reorder all new uniforms every single year. So we're going to try to do our best to bring that cost down for you and for your players, especially those that play multiple sports, or for families that have multiple athletes in sports. I know that it can get costly very fast. So with your help, we can do some things to try to bring that cost down. And one of those things we can try is getting uniforms that are going to last us longer than just a single season. Every athlete that joins our team this year is going to have to sign an agreement. And I'm just going to go through bullet point by bullet point and offer any additional insight. As a student athlete, I understand it is my responsibility to display good sportsmanship at practices and games, both home and away, positively represent Drexel at other schools and in the community, communicate with coaches and staff in a timely manner. I cannot tell you how many times as a coach I would get to school on game day and one of my students would come up to me in like the fourth period right before lunch and be like, oh, by the way, coach, I need a ride to the game tonight. Or by the way, coach, I can't make it tonight because I have this family thing going on. Okay, the game is in just a few hours. I had you in my starting lineup. How are we going to get you to the game? What do you mean you don't have a ride? Have you talked to anybody? So then we're kind of in scramble mode. If you know in advance that there are going to be some conflicts with the schedule, please make sure that you're getting that information to the coaches, and the athletes should be communicating if things come up last minute. I get it, things happen, but that communication should happen as soon as as soon as they know, because it does impact the team. So that's an important thing for them to take the responsibility and communicate. Show proper etiquette in all settings. That means if we're at someone else's home court, we need to be taking care of the locker room facility that we're using, the restroom facilities, the court itself, the sideline areas where we should be picking those areas up. It breaks my heart when I get feedback from other coaches or athletic directors that are saying, you know, your students trashed this area. We didn't really like having you on campus. It wasn't a good experience. I want to be the kind of school that goes into a place and leaves it looking better than how we got there. So I think everybody, all hands on deck, having that mentality is going to be really important. Have integrity in my behavior and choices as a student and an athlete, put forth my best effort and show a hard work ethic in practices and games. If your student wants to get better and improve and get more playing time, part of that is going to be on them to put in that effort at practice and to have that work ethic, not only just in the hour that we have them at practice, but also at the time they have at home to work on those individual skills. Have integrity in my behavior and choices as a student and an athlete, maintain a 2.0 GPA, C average, and be in good standing in all classes. Have no major behavioral referrals or more than 3 minor referrals. So we are going to be tracking behavioral referrals this year. Hopefully it won't be an issue because your student won't get any. But if we do start to have a pattern of behavioral referrals, we will sit down and have a conversation with them. And if it continues, we'll sit down and have a conversation with you. No student will be kicked off the team without having had conversations first. And certainly for academics as well. Even though we have a high standard for our student athletes, we will give them high supports. So if a student is struggling, they come to me and they say, Coach Cook, I'm really struggling in math, for example, we'll figure it out. We'll talk to the teacher, we'll sit down, we'll go over their power school, we'll find out what's missing, what things are eligible for retake, we'll find out the retake policies, and we'll work together to try to get them to the level of success they need to be in order to stay eligible to play. They may be put on an academic probation period while we work through those academic concerns. But at the end of the day, your student is going to have the supports in place to succeed. It's just going to be a matter of them doing their part as well. Take proper care of school equipment and facilities, pay all fees, and maintain personal athletic gear. So sometimes certain things are on you to purchase, shoes, pads, things like that will not be provided by the school. So those things you may need to make sure that are maintained in proper condition and they fit correctly. Be a leader in my school and a positive role model for other athletes. Show responsibility in managing my schedule and school obligations. Participate in at least one fundraiser for my sport and adhere to all additional rules and regulations as laid out by my coaches and other school staff. The bottom part there just says, I understand that I'm making a commitment to the entire season. I will follow through on that commitment. I will communicate if I'm struggling in any parts of this agreement. I'll communicate with my coach, with the athletic director, and that if I am kicked off of the team for any reason, I would not be reimbursed for the fees that I did pay up to that point. All right, then similarly, we have a parent agreement. A lot of it is similar, so I'm not going to go bullet point by bullet point, but there is, again, just those communication pieces, supporting coaches and staff when it comes to the responsibility that your student has to maintain those grades and behaviors. And then really just representing Renaissance as an adult in the community as well, having good sportsmanship at games, treating officials and coaches with respect, treating other players with respect, really cheering for the team rather than cheering against the other team, just modeling for our students what it looks like to be a positive athlete and a positive presence in the community. And that's really what I'm hoping that we can partner to do this year. Okay, so some of the opportunities that parents have to get involved and volunteer with us in our athletic department is listed right here for you to look at. When we have home games, I have a vision that there would be about 5 parents that are volunteering. So 2 at the ticket door, checking people's tickets, getting them in the door as fast as possible. Then 1 person overseeing the concessions selling that we would like to try to have at every home game. There may be students helping out, but an adult really should be overseeing that. And then crowd support. That's just people who are floating around, offering assistance for anybody that's on our campus visiting that may not be familiar with where the restrooms are. How do I get to the drinking fountain? My child fell and scraped their knee. Can I get a Band-Aid? All those things. Um, the players making sure they're hydrated, that we have ice available if needed, just things like that. So you would be set up for success, but I would really like to see some parents stepping up and making the home game experience a smooth and positive one for all parties involved. Transportation, maybe you can't volunteer for the game time, but you're able to bring 3 students in your car. So you sign up for, carpooling, getting kids to and from games and practices at school. If we do end up having any buses, if the timing works out with our games, maybe being a bus monitor would be a great way to volunteer. And then a communication coordinator. I know the coaches would love to have help with communicating any pertinent information out to the families. So if you are kind of that point person, almost like a homeroom mom, but you're like a team mom or dad, so that we can get just a smooth line of communication. The coach messages you and then you reach out to the team kind of thing. And then personnel, we're always looking for more coaches. As I said, we do have a great coaching staff this year, but some of them may want an assistant coach. Some of them may want to branch out and have some more opportunities and time to look at enrichments and to look at conditioning. And so they may need some extra personnel support. We also need scorekeepers. That is something that you would have to be trained to do, but that's something that I would work with you so that you know how to keep a record book. That's something we have to turn into the district at the end of games. So it is a really important piece of the puzzle and something that we're always looking for parents to help out with. And then officiating. If you want to become an official, you can go through the FHSAA, and that is where the district pulls all of their referees from. And so you get paid for that. And it's another great opportunity to get involved. And then any other ways that you can help if you want to, if let's say you have an industrial size washer at home and you are willing to take the uniforms and wash them, I would love that. As far as like equipment, helping out, maintaining that, organizing it, helping me make sure that we have what we need for every team. I'm all for any of that assistance. And then party planning. One thing that I really want to do this year is have more activities for our students. They need that time to bond, to build that team camaraderie, and really just make those awesome memories that those of us that played sports as a student, we know last for forever. So if you have a pool at your house and you want to open it up to the team, please feel free to do that. We could have some, meeting up at a picnic and having a barbecue, any of those things. If you want to take it upon yourself to organize an event like that, if everybody can't come, that's okay. But at least we are giving them that opportunity to join. All right. Along the same vein as keeping the costs low for families, another way that we can do that is by fundraising and by getting sponsorships. So we are a community. Our school is smack in the middle of St. Lucie, kind of towards St. Lucie West. And there are businesses out there that would be willing to partner with us. You may know some people that run this business. You yourself may run a business. And we need to start utilizing those connections to try to build our program. Our program can only be as good as what we turn it into. So if we're all looking for opportunities to try to assist or help the program, and it doesn't just necessarily have to be a financial support, it could be something like, this person I know has a gym, and they would be willing to donate an hour of practice time on Saturday mornings, or on a weekend day or a weekday evening, whatever it is. We have had a booster club in the past. One thing that I would like to see if we did continue to have that booster club would be that it's not just about raising money, but coordinating other events, having a presence in the community, having a presence on social media, and managing that. We have a Facebook page already, but we could start posting some fun videos, of the team at practices, show the development of the players, show our presence out in the community, volunteering, helping out, organizing things like that. I would love to see a booster club that's really has a heart and passion for creating an all around experience for our athletes. And then fundraising. I know two of our coaches already have a fundraiser ready to go. They're going to be doing car washes the next couple months. If we have a parent out there that's like, hey, I have a cricket and I wouldn't mind donating some swag that you guys can sell at your games, I would love that. That would be amazing. There are so many, I put blankathon there because there's so many like readathon, walkathon, runathon, bakeathon, like there's so many athons. And so if you have experience doing one and that's been successful, or if you really have a passion for something and we can turn it into a way for your child to be sponsored, like per lap or per whatever, we would love to do things like that as well. Concessions, bake sales. I mean, the list goes on as far as fundraising activities that we could have. Getting sponsors, some students may struggle to pay the fee. So having someone that says, you know what, I'd like to sponsor a student. It doesn't matter who it is, the coach or the athletic director can connect it with a child that needs it. But I'd like to sponsor a student. Here's $100 to go towards someone's fee, and then we can make sure that that gets distributed to a player that needs the support. If someone wants to sponsor a team in that way, I'll pay for a whole team's fees. There's 12 slots on the team, I'll pay this flat rate. If they want to sponsor a sport and make sure they have all the equipment and jerseys, we'll put names on jerseys, t-shirts, make sure that they get some kickback. We'll put some signs out there, hand out little pamphlets for them. Whatever it is, we are happy to partner with the sponsors if they want to partner with us. And then if they want to sponsor our entire program, obviously, and then every year, is that something you're going to recommit to? Those types of sponsorships can really be a game changer for our program. And then donors, if anybody wants to donate equipment, uniforms, gear, facilities, and then of course funds, we are open to all of those opportunities to partner with people in our community that are going to also benefit from having that partnership with us as well. The last big point that I'd like to bring to everyone's attention is having more team celebrations, and not just at the end of the year. We can have some mid-season team building activities to really try to give, again, the students that all around experience of what it means to be on a team, to build kind of that family feeling and that sense of community. I would like to have 2 banquets this year. So we will have a winter banquet and a spring banquet. Number one, that'll keep the time a little bit more down. It'll give more of the athletes more time to be recognized. And it'll also give opportunities for some athletes that do multiple sports to have recognition for one and then recognition for another, and not just kind of mesh together. And then I know in the past for volleyball, I have done lock-ins before where we go right after school. We have outside time where we're playing volleyball, and then we'll have some dinner for everybody, feed pizza or something easy like that, and then we'll have game time where we go in the building once it gets dark. We play, do some fun activities inside, and then the students get picked up around 8 to 9 p.m. And that has always been really successful. And I would love to see more opportunities for the students to engage and have fun together without it being all about competition all the time. And then any sort of potluck events or dinners or just fun hangouts in the community that you guys want to plan, I'm all for that. So I think, again, it's just about creating this culture of greatness in our connections to each other. All right. Thank you so much for taking the time to review this information. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is right there. And if you have questions for the coaches, I did have that earlier when I had all the coaches' names. Their emails are listed with them, and it's just at stluciecharter.org after that initial part. All right, everybody. If you would like to volunteer, please scan this QR code, fill out the form, and let me know what areas you would like to volunteer in. Let's have an amazing 2024-2025 school year.